Well, the transfer window is upon us, and I'm going to tell you who should Arsenal go for. Arsenal are interested in Max Aarons and Tariq Lamptey, so who should they go for? Let's see. Number one, we'll start with the defence. This season in the Prem, Tariq Lamptey is making around 1.7 1.7 interceptions a game and 1.5 tackles a game, compared to Bellerin, who's making 1.3 tackles a game and 1 interception a game. So Tariq Lamptey is way better defensively, but what we're seeing is he commits more fouls, as Bellerin commits around 1.3 fouls a game, 1.1 fouls a game, something like that, and then Tariq Lamptey commits around 1.9 fouls a game. So he will need to bring that down, as as Arsenal have enough rash defenders. They're trying to get rid of Mustafi, Socrates Holding, even David Luiz. They're trying to get rid of some of these centre backs, but they're rash enough. Even if we get rid of them or we don't get rid of them, they commit enough fouls and they're mistake prone enough, and we can't have someone as our right back committing that fouls. Bellerin, he's mistake prone at times, but we can't have that. We need someone who's defensively solid, and hopefully, because he's 20 years old, Tariq Lamptey can learn that. You've got Max Aarons. Right now, he's doing around 1.3 tackles a game and around 1.1 interceptions a game throughout his career, and that's including the championship. And he's doing in the championship, I believe, is not 1.3; it's actually 1.7 tackles a game. So defensively, we are seeing Tariq Lamptey be the better choice. Max Aarons is pretty solid defensively as well. And if you consider him last season when he played for Norwich, where he was playing for a terrible side, he weren't doing that great. He weren't doing that great when you looked at him, but on the statistic side of things, he didn't do too bad. If we're talking attack, then attack-wise, Bellerin blows all of them out the water. But if you compare the statistics, then Max Aarons hasn't got too bad of statistics last season compared to Bellerin this season, but this season in the championship, Max Aarons is way better. He's doing like 2.5 like long ball through balls, like the ball over the top. He's doing 2.5 of them. He's doing like at least at least 1.5 fouls a game, like less fouls than Bellerin. Bellerin's like 1.5. He's at like 1.0.6 or something like that. So he commits less fouls. Key passes, he does way more key passes at 1.7 to Bellerin's around 1.3. So attack wise, in the championship, he's doing better because he's playing in the championship. But if you compare him to the Prem last season, he didn't do too bad. But I feel like Man U are interested in Max Aarons as well, and for that reason, and Norwich have said that they are gonna be waiting to the summer for offers for Max Aarons. So that does indicate that if anyone does want to go for Max Aarons, Arsenal or Man U, there's going to be a challenge for Arsenal to get him. But whoever does go for Max Aarons will have to wait to the summer and will have to pay that £30 million that Norwich wanted last summer, in the summer 2019. So it's going to be tough to get Max Aarons out of Norwich, especially in January. You're probably paying close to at least 40-45 mil to get him. But if you compare Tariq Lamptey, he'll probably cost at least good 25-30 mil to get him in January. And he doesn't have as much experience as attack, defense. If you combine all of that, my general thoughts is if you combine both of them and you look at the statistics, if you look at the stats, should we say, Max Aarons, defensively, better than Bellerin. Attack-wise, the stats show that he isn't too bad in attack compared to Bellerin, if you compare his stats last season and this season. Tariq Lamptey, his stats aren't too bad compared to Bellerin's. But defensively, he's better, but he commits more fouls. So out of these three, who would I go for? Well, of course I'd sell Bellerin, and I'd say Max Aarons has had 2 seasons in the championship, and if you include this season, and he's had 1 season in the Prem. There's more to go off by him, and he's 20 years old, and you can develop him. If you compare if you compare the likes of Tariq Lamptey, he's only played 8 games for Brighton last season and 20 games for Brighton this season, or around 10 games for Brighton this season. There's not a lot to go off him. I feel like we'd have to wait at least one more season to see what he can really do in the Prem. He ain't doing too bad, but it's still that we need to see more of him before we fully make a judgment on him. So that's why I feel like Arsenal should sell Bellerin and go for Max Aarons. As attack wise, he can improve. Defensively, he's already better than Bellerin. He he doesn't do too bad when he plays as a right mid slash right wing back. He can easily learn that trade as he's young, like 20 years old. And as a right back, as a back four, he's pretty solid. Same with Tariq Lamptey. He's pretty not the best as a right wing back slash right mid, but he can learn the trade. And Arsenal are heavily interested in Tariq Lamptey as they believe they can get him in January compared to Max Aarons where you have to wait for the summer. But the only reason Arsenal will go for any of these if they sell Bellerin, and Barcelona's are interested in Bellerin, but if their interest increases, if they inquire more and they put heavy interest in Bellerin, then they will go and look to sell Bellerin and then end up bringing in Tariq Lamptey or Max Aarons. And I believe Max Aarons is the all-round better player because he'll provide more attack-wise and defensively still pretty solid and commits less fouls than both Tariq Lamptey and Bellerin. And also in the tackle and interception wise, just defensively overall, he's consistent and commits himself more. So that's the reason why I feel like Arsenal should go for Max Aarons instead of Bellerin, instead of Tariq Lamptey to replace Bellerin. If you're new around here, subscribe. Peace.